This is my biggest fear for salons that are like, they're brand new and they open and they're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you better fucking open the second one right now.
Right now. Hi, everyone. I'm Charisse.
And I'm David Bosscher.
And you're listening to Destroy the Hairdresser,
where we teach you to salon differently. By now, our listeners know that we recommend that salons go cashless. And with Aura Salonware, you can now accept only the payments you want. Aura Salonware is an integrated point of sale that accepts both card present and card not present payments. That means cards can be kept on file and clients can use ExpressPay to get through checkout in seconds.
We also coach salons to go gratuity-free, and Aura allows you to hide the gratuity line for those using this method of business. With Aura Salonware, you can future-proof your salon with technology. If you are interested in this type of profit maximization, visit aurasalonware.com/DTH to receive special discounts and promos.
Color inventory doesn't have to be so painful. There's finally a solution, and that solution is SalonScale. We have partnered with SalonScale to make this process more streamlined and simple. The SalonScale app will keep track of all of your color used down to the last drop, and it'll give you a suggested color order list whenever you need it. No more under-ordering and no more over-ordering. Visit salonscale.com/DTH and use code DTH10 at checkout for 10% off. Using salons as a money generator. You know, this is something that I've talked about for the last couple of years specifically. Everybody, those that want to open a salon have this like utopian idea of like, I'm going to open a salon and it's going to smell like this. And we're going to offer tea and coffee and wine. And we're going to listen to this kind of music. I'm going to hire this cool I'm going to hire all my friends and they're going to work with me.
It's going to fail.
Which is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to work with any of my friends.
No, I barely want to work with Sid. And
I was going to say, except you.
And they like have this whole thing. And none of that utopian idea is, and I'm going to make a lot of money.
I know.
And then they do all those things. They hire their friends. They have the great music. They have the cool vibe. And then they go, I don't have any money. There's no money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not think of your salon or your future salon as a income generator that allows you to go and live your life and invest in other things, you'll never get anywhere because you
just created a hangout that you're paying for everyone.
Exactly. And like the problem is that people think, oh, I'll own a salon and then I'll make money because it's a salon. But the reality is you won't make money until you have your second salon, right? Like you won't make real money until your first one is funding your next thing. And this is how business has been going on. This is what expansion is all about. Is like
you do one business to invest in the next business,
correct.
And the next opportunity, the next project.
And the reason I say you have to look at them as generators is because if you only have one business and you don't look at it as a generator, then you start to look at it as your whole life. It's the source of your fulfillment. It's the source of your chaos. It's the source of your money. It's the source of your lack of money. Like it's like making your spouse, your therapist, and your doctor, and it's impossible for your partner to be all those things. It is impossible for your business to be all of those things for you. So your business needs to generate income so you can be busy investing in something else, growing something else, starting something else. And if you want to be good at business, you have to keep up with that flow. You can't just open, unless you're happy, like, I'm going to open one thing and like, I just want to be comfortable and that's the end of it. The problem is everything in this world.
It's not certain.
It's not for certain. And everything in this world ends.
Yeah.
And so the reason that you see all these...
Especially if you decide at that point, I'm going to stay comfortable and not continue to grow.
It ends.
It will absolutely end.
So like, you know, if you don't want your business to end or you want to grow generational wealth or you want to start something for your kids that will keep going, it's not going to be that one thing that you created. In fact, the families that have salons or any family-owned business where we just have this one place and like my father started this or my mother started this and I'm going to keep it. Those kids struggle with it because it's run its course.
Yeah.
You either have to completely revamp it or you need to expand. And so I just think it's important that salon owners think about this because the alternative is people don't do this and then everyone goes, oh, salons aren't profitable. Well, nothing's profitable if you just open up a small shop. Mm-hmm. It has to go somewhere from
there has to be like some sort of demand influence for it.
Yeah. And this is my biggest fear for salons that are like, they're brand new and they open and they're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you better fucking open the second one right now.
Right now.
Because as soon as this isn't cool anymore, then you're going to come to me going, we're struggling.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot you can really, now you're in the fields of like, I got to market and I got to hire and but if you're busy with opening new things, right? Like, why is Starbucks such a great concept? They're not busy going, I wonder how we can make this location better. They're like, no, we'll just open another one.
Mm-hmm.
For this location's done. It's run its course.
Done.
We saw it during COVID. All those things that ran its course, even franchises, they were like, it's not worth it. But guess what? They closed and they didn't get hurt because they had multiple,
You also don't have to open a second salon. You could open a coffee shop.
Exactly.
I want to own a coffee shop so bad. I think hair salons and coffee shops are the most profitable thing.
But don't put them together. I'm not into that.
No, separate things. But that's the thing. I really do think, like, I think naturally salons can be huge income generators if the consciousness of the business owner is that. I think we are one of the only industries that has to be influential to be successful. We're utilizing social media in an incredibly impactful way. And what's funny about that is, like, we talk a lot about affiliate links and retail. There's so much you can do on social media that is one income. You have so many different avenues of revenue that you can have within a business. It's not like we're just stuck to service sales. Like, you can have so many
this is going to sound funny,
directions of service sales. Like,
all the younger people and not younger people, all the people that are doing OnlyFans, it's not they're doing that to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, they can have a career doing it and they make great money.
Or maybe they want freedom.
Or they want freedom. But a lot of them are like, yeah, I do OnlyFans and then I opened this business, or I did OnlyFans and I bought my dream house. Like,
yeah, now I'm an investor.
They see it as a generator and not like a career. I guess some might look at it as a career, but there's some sort of expansion and generator involved. And I think with, like you said, hairdressers, like, we're not just good at hair, especially if we own a business. We know how to own a business. You can own different businesses, like you said. You can invest in properties. Everyone's seen every Instagram post of like, I bought 6 rental properties and now I make $20,000 in my sleep.
Yeah.
That's not true, just because it costs a lot to do that. But at the same time, there is something that is true about it, which is they have multiple streams of revenue, but that
they're reinvesting their money constantly.
They're reinvesting their money all the time.
Rich people invest their money, not save it, in the sense of, like, they're using their money to make more money.
Exactly.
They're not spending. It's like truly wealthy
people. They're not
people,
spending on Amazon orders like Sid.
They're not exactly. They're not buying all the Louis and buying. I mean, yes, there becomes a point when we think billionaires and things like that's happening. But, like, I'm talking like smaller businesses that are really creating that generational wealth for their families. I also think, like, if you don't have that consciousness going into any business, even for hairdressers, they're like, I'm going to go run a suite. Cool. Then what? Like, have you thought about even being commissioned stylist, even being a salon owner? Have you thought about what's next? Like, at what point is this, are we doing this for the rest of our lives? Are you going to stay at $80 a haircut for the rest of your life? Like, what is
Are you going to work
for the rest of your life? Yeah. I'm like, what is the game plan here? Because if you're by yourself, you have to continuously raise your prices.
I want to clarify this. Our company is not for hobby hairdressers. Mm-mm. Like, if you're a hairdresser, it's like, I just kind of want to work every now and then. I want to have my suite, and like, you're not our person.
Mm-mm.
We are talking to hairdressers that want to make money, make change, grow, develop. And there's nothing wrong if you don't want to. This just isn't.
Not just, I want to emphasize, not just make money and grow. That's what we will be doing. But also, you're willing to create space for change in this industry, because a lot of people don't love what we're doing. It really pisses them off that we're giving stylists freedom.
Didn't someone say we were gaslighting the industry?
Yeah.
Which I still don't understand. Like, I know what gaslighting means. I don't.
It did, and I said that in my response. I said that's not what gaslighting means. I'm like, I'm stating the fact on my views on our methods. Like, that's not gaslighting. Like,
that's hilarious.
Gaslighting would be
telling everyone to go to hourly and then telling them they're crazy for going to hourly.
You're going to hourly? Well, you told us to go hourly. No, we didn't.
No, we
that's
never said.
Gaslighting.
Guys, we've never once
said that. Yes, you did in that podcast. Nope. Like, that's
What if
gaslighting.
oh my gosh, in
Can you
20
imagine?
years, can we delete everything about hourly and be like, guys, we never talked about hourly? And do like a Mandela effect?
The big prank.
And people just be like, it's like Berenstein Bears.
Yes.
It's Berenstein. I don't care
talk to me about
what
it.
anyone says. And now a word from our sponsors.
We are proud to introduce you to Hair Story. Hair Story is known for their clean and safe ingredients, but did you know that they have one of the best affiliate programs on the market? You can earn 25% on all sales when your clients use your custom Hair Story link, plus receive money on your purchases made by hairdressers you refer. For clients, they will receive 15% off their first purchase using your link. Need back bar? No problem. As a Hair Story Pro, you will unlock generous back bar pricing. Ready to try New Wash for free? Visit hairstory.com/DTH to get pro access today.
2 things. I know they're very random. The first one's the most random, which is I love your jeans.
Wait, what?
I love your jeans. The pattern.
Thanks.
I can't stop looking at them. Number 2, you said you wanted to open a coffee shop, and
I did.
So do I. And
We're not doing that together.
And I already have the name, and I have like a whole look.
You do? Don't say it. Conceal it. But that's exciting.
I wanted to share it with everyone.
I mean, it's probably going to be stolen, but go for it.
It would be called Midas, which makes me angry that there's already a Midas and it's like a auto.
Why would you call it that?
Because I want everything to be gold, black and gold. And
He did tell me this.
And the
This is so
coffee
cute.
would have like a
Gold flake.
turmeric base.
So all our teeth are yellow?
Yeah.
Turmeric is so good for you.
It's turmeric,
I don't know.
right? Turmeric. Anyways, and it'd be called Midas, and like it'd be black and gold, and all the coffee would have this gold hint to it because of the turmeric. And that's my coffee shop idea.
I love that. I'm like thinking of the 2 things I love most in the world are like coffee and doing hair and coaching. Like, I'm like, that's all like, but that's my point. It's like, why are we not thinking what's next? Like, it just blows my mind when they're like, oh yeah, like in 5 years. I'm like, 5 years? 5 years?
Everyone's acting like they're not going to die.
I know.
Okay? Like, I tell this to my students all the time. If you are there are 2 things that I have learned from my coach and from life experience, but definitely just from major deep conversations with my coach. Every time I have an idea for the future, well, you're going to get older and you're not going to want to do it when you're older.
Yeah.
Like, that has been my drive. Like, you're going to get older. Even tomorrow, you're going to want to do what you talked about today less than how you want to do it today. So, like, that whole concept of like, oh, I'll do it in 5 years. What, in 5 years, I'm going to be almost 40.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 38.
Which is not old,
No,
for the record.
it's not old, but I'm not going to want to do it, right? I want to do it now.
Yeah.
And so I think we get lost.
Because when you're older, the only way that you will do things is at necessity. It's like you don't
have choice.
You're at no choice, or you're at rock bottom, or something really horrible happened and you're like, this is the chance because I got to live my life. But it's like, why are we waiting?
Well, then that's called the midlife crisis.
That too, yeah.
But I like, and by the way, not every idea you have are you going to do. But if there is one that you know you can do and that you should, like, there is no time like the present to get it going. That's number 1. There was something else. I had 2 things.
Yeah, it was my jeans.
No.
So you had 3
2 things my coach told me. One was like, don't wait, because as you get older, it gets harder. And I lost the other one.
It'll come back.
But you also have more to lose when you get older.
Mm-hmm.
You either, if you have kids and they're getting older and they have lives, or you have
You're also
more
never
money.
going to get less tired.
Right. Or like you have more money. The more money you get, it does not, everyone's like, it'll get easier when I have more. It does not, it gets harder.
Yeah.
Because you have more to lose. And that is fucking terrifying.
Fear creeps in with age, I think. Like, even the most conscious people, even having, I'm so thankful that I have a coach that constantly like is like, because then it keeps me on my toes. But that's just having a support system.
Yeah, the whole idea of building generators of wealth and looking at salons that way, I think people might get nervous of like, well, then I don't want to open a salon. Like, that doesn't sound, and we're not saying you can't, like, the salon should still be a total representation and manifestation of your personality, your energy, all of those things. It should be the music you like. It should be the colors that you like. It should be the whole thing that you like. But your consciousness around it has to be, this is not my whole life. This is not it. Mm-hmm. This is part of it, but this is not the whole thing. And I think that's what people do with their spaces. I think a lot of business owners do it, but I definitely think salon owners do it. And I think people believe I only have one good business in me.
Mm-hmm. Or they're like, I don't want to own a business. And then I'm like, well, maybe this industry might not be for you.
Not everyone's going to own a business, but that's not who we're talking to.
No, but like if you don't own a business, if you don't do that, this industry has an expiration date. I mean, you can only physically work.
If you don't own a business in any industry,
yeah,
you have an expiration date.
Yeah. Then you probably need to go work for a business and collect a paycheck and get a raise and have a salary.
This is manual labor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Being a hairdresser?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it says it has an expiration date. You are going to have to stop.
A friend of mine is a hairdresser, Julian. He's been on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably have him back because, unfortunately, when we had him on, we had one microphone in our kitchen.
Yeah. The three of us sitting around a mic,
and you can barely hear him. It was. But if you go back in our episodes, it was DTH sits down with Julian Howard.
Mm-hmm. Velo barber.
He's still my barber. He actually cut my hair before I came here. So my friend Julian got hit by a car while he was biking, and he has a company called the Velo Barber, which velo means bike. So he bikes to people's houses and does their hair. It's great. It's wonderful. He got hit by a car. Doesn't have insurance. Still dealing with that problem to this day, and constantly is like, I had to work more while I was injured to pay for my medical bills. Mm-hmm. And like, this is like, if you're a hairdresser out there and you're like, I don't want to own a business, the alternative is not great.
It's not. That's why I said you shouldn't be in this industry, because also I think about how many times I got sick when I was full-time working like 6 days behind the chair, or I would go on vacation. You would have to make those days up because you're not getting paid to not work. So it's like there is never rest until you quit.
It's like retail. There's never profit until you stop buying it.
Mm-hmm.
What was our point? Open businesses and think of them as generators?
Yep.
That's it.
Next time on Destroy the Hairdresser, the podcast.
When we're sitting there going, let's bring everybody back into commission, and people are like, commission's awful, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, there's nothing wrong with commission. What was wrong was how you were treated.